name is Jennie Walts, and I'm going to discuss Constructivism learning theory. I will provide an overview of what it is, how it evolved, why it is criticized, its benefits, and how it is applied in various instructional design models. Constructivism is a theory about how people learn. The basic premise is that people learn based on their understanding and knowledge of the world through their experiences and reflection on those experiences. When something new is introduced, the learner will try to relate the new information with previous notions and experiences. This may cause the learner to replace old ideas with the new information, thus changing what he believes, or the new information may be discarded as irrelevant. In the classroom, the teacher becomes more of a facilitator by encouraging students to use experiments and real-world problem-solving to increase knowledge. That knowledge is then reflected on and talked about to gain a greater understanding. Constructivism helps students become active participants in the learning process. Students become engaged by applying their existing knowledge and experiences to new situations, learning to hypothesize, testing those theories, and drawing conclusions from the outcome. Constructivism has roots that go back as far as Socrates. Socrates would ask his followers directed questions that made them realize for themselves the weakness in their thinking. This is still an important tool for educators using constructivism to assess student learning and plan for new learning experiences. During this century, Jean Piaget believed that humans learn through constructing one logical structure after another. He also believed that the logic and thinking of children is different than that of adults. John Dewey believed that education should be based on real experience. He also felt that learning should be inquiry-based. This is a key part of the constructivist learning theory. As constructivism continued to evolve, new perspectives were introduced by Lev Vygotsky, Jerome Bruner, and Seymour Papert. Vygotsky introduced the social aspect of learning into constructivism. He defined the zone of proximal learning, which means when students solve problems that are just outside of their developmental level, with guidance and collaboration, learning occurs. Bruner introduced curriculum changes based on the idea that learning is an active and social process by which students form new ideas or learn concepts based on what they already know. Papert introduced using computers to teach children. This led to the widespread use of computer and information technology in constructivist learning environments. Constructivism learning theory has its critics. Some believe that constructivism is only successful with children from privileged backgrounds and rich home environments. The argument is that disadvantaged children lack resources and benefit more from traditional teaching methods. Some critics believe that social constructivism is nothing more than groupthink. They believe that the more vocal students dominate the opinions and interpretations for all students, thus forcing other students to conform. Other critics state that there is no evidence that constructivist methods work. These critics believe that because teachers have rejected traditional means of testing knowledge, students are no longer held accountable for their learning and progress. They feel that students in constructivist classrooms are further behind in basic skills than those instructed in a more traditional classroom environment. Some of the benefits to using constructivism learning theory are: when students are actively engaged in their own learning, they learn more than when they are passive listeners. Information that is learned through thinking and understanding is more sustainable than information learned by rote memorization. The constructivism learning theory is based on learning to think and understand. When students learn by constructivist methods, they transfer the skills of thinking, assessing, and understanding to real-life situations on the job or later in life. Students take ownership of their learning. They are excited and engaged, thus increasing personal pride and motivation. Because constructivism is based on real-world experiences and situations, students learn to question things and draw their own conclusions. Constructivist classrooms promote curiosity and reflection. Constructivism helps students with social and communication skills. Constructivist classrooms are more collaborative. Students work together and exchange ideas. This collaboration helps students learn negotiation and evaluation skills that will help them contribute to society in a socially acceptable manner, This is an essential skill that transfers to the real world. When creating instructional materials for the Constructivist classroom, the instructional designer needs to remember that the learning theory is based on students taking an active role in their own learning. Therefore, when creating instructional materials, they should prompt students to ask questions, guide them towards the projected outcome, test theories against outcomes, encourage collaboration with other students to discuss and reflect outcomes. There are a variety of learning tools that can be used, including the following design models. Case-based learning, which uses real-life examples to build knowledge by asking and answering questions about a specific scenario. Discovery learning gives students a problem to solve, and they must research and test theories until a solution is reached. Inquiry-based learning gives students a theme as a starting point, and then the students determine the content, the learning process, and the assessment of the learning. Teachers monitor student progress through talking, journaling, and group discussions. Problem-based learning allows students to think critically, to analyze problems, and use resources to solve real-life problems. Project-based learning employs investigation to encourage understanding of a specific situation or problem. By providing a real-world problem, students have a meaningful experience that promotes research skills. Constructivism learning theory helps students learn by building on their own personal experiences and knowledge. Constructivism also helps students learn valuable skills such as collaboration, negotiation, and communication. Students learn to question and reflect on situations to form their own opinions instead of relying on the transfer of knowledge from someone else. Constructivism dates back to the days of Socrates and has continued to evolve into the learning theory it is today. Constructivist classrooms help students become critical, independent thinkers with an arsenal of skills that are very transferable to the real world. Thank you.